Hey foodies, today on Cooking with Kiana, I'm going to show you guys how to make this delicious and easy chicken dinner recipe. This slow cooker honey garlic chicken and potato recipe is so delicious, so easy to put together, and it makes for some delicious comfort food. Not to mention that chicken is so tender it falls right off the bone. But before I begin, make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed the recipe, subscribe so you don't miss future recipes, and let's get started. Alright guys, so for this recipe you're going to need 6 bone-in chicken thighs with the skin on, as well as all your seasonings and spices that we're going to be using to season this up. You'll need 1 teaspoon of crushed red pepper, 1 teaspoon of Lawrys seasoning salt, 1 tablespoon of Montreal chicken seasoning, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, and 1 teaspoon of black pepper. So first things first, after you went ahead and washed off that chicken, cut off some of that fat, you're going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil on there. And then you're going to go ahead and go right in with those seasonings. So I'm going to add in the Lawry's, the Montreal chicken seasoning, the smoked paprika, the black pepper, and some of that crushed red pepper. And like I always say, y'all can go ahead and season this to taste. Just don't go overboard with the Lawry's because we will be adding soy sauce into this later and you don't want it to be too salty. Now that you finish adding in all those seasonings, you're going to go ahead and work that in with your hands. Make sure you really massage that seasoning into your meat. That way it can be well penetrated and full of flavor. So if y'all wanted to, y'all could do a dump and go and put this right in a slow cooker like this, but no, we are not doing that today. We are going to be placing this in our cast iron skillet so we can get a nice sear on both sides. So in order to do that, we are going to cook this on medium to high heat for about 5 to 7 minutes on each side. It's very important that you don't skip this step because this is going to add maximum flavor to this honey garlic chicken. Once that chicken gets nice and brown and caramelizes, it's going to add some extra flavor to that chicken once we put it in the slow cooker. And that goes for majority of slow cooker recipes. Make sure you brown that meat first, okay? Thank me later. Like we always say, color equals flavor. This right here is perfect. That's exactly what you want. So now that they are all nice and browned, we're going to go ahead and remove them from the pan. If you want to get rid of a little bit of that excess oil in the pan, you can. Just make sure you leave a little bit in there because we're going to be adding the onions and the peppers directly into that chicken fat. Once you've added in those onions and peppers, you're going to make sure you turn your stove down to about a medium to low. And you're going to let that cook for about 5 minutes or until those onions are nice and brown and caramelized and those peppers are nice and soft as well. Right now, we're just basically building up all those flavors so we could throw everything in the slow cooker. So now that we got that out the way, we can get started on the honey garlic sauce. You'll need hot sauce, soy sauce, Dijon mustard, brown sugar, fresh garlic, rice vinegar or apple cider vinegar, honey, crushed red pepper, and a half a cup of chicken broth. So as you can see, I got my half a cup of chicken broth right here. I'm going to go ahead and add the 5 cloves of garlic right in there. Then I'm going to dump in 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, as well as 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar. If you guys cannot find this, just substitute this for apple cider vinegar. Now I'm going to go in with about 1 or 2 tablespoons of hot sauce, and then I'm going to add in a half a cup of honey. I'm going to follow that up with a teaspoon of crushed red pepper. You can add more if you like spiciness. And then I'm going to add in a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Then you're just going to mix everything together until everything is well combined and it's a smooth consistency. This right here is perfect. And now you got your quick little honey garlic sauce. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and move over to the slow cooker. We're going to add in all of our chicken. Make sure you add in all those juices at the bottom as well. Then you're going to follow that up by adding in all your onions and peppers. And now I'm going to add in a pound of potatoes that I went ahead and skinned and peeled and cleaned off camera. If you want to, you can add in the whole small red potatoes if you don't feel like doing all of that. Then I also added in 2 large carrots that I washed and peeled and cut up. So now you're going to go ahead and drizzle all of that honey garlic sauce on top. Make sure you get it everywhere. And then you're just going to close this up and let this cook on high for around 4 to 6 hours. So it has been about 4.5 hours. I'm going to go ahead and check on the chicken. As you can see, it is nice and tender. The only thing is the sauce is super runny. If you like it like that, you can go ahead and keep it like that. But I'm going to show you guys how to go ahead and thicken up that sauce so you can get you a nice little gravy. You're going to add 2 tablespoons of cornstarch into a large bowl and follow that up with 1/4 of a cup of cold water. And you're going to mix that all together until it is this smooth, milky consistency like you guys see right here. This is going to be your cornstarch slurry. So you're going to go ahead and add that into the slow cooker. You're going to try not to add it directly onto the chicken. Try to add it into the little creases and crevices that you see. I also decided to add a little bit of accent seasoning, just to wake up that flavor a little bit. So at this point, if you want to taste it and add a little bit more seasoning, you can. So next, you're just going to go in with either a spoon or a spatula, and right where you added in that cornstarch slurry, you're just going to go ahead and stir that up. Because once that crock pot comes back up to a simmer, that gravy is going to thicken up nicely. So after you're done stirring that up, you're going to close the lid and let that cook for an additional 30 minutes. So as you can see, after 30 minutes, that gravy has thickened up beautifully. And right now, it is about done and it's time to plate everything. I ended up keeping it simple and serving this over a bed of jasmine rice. And y'all, when I tell you that chicken was so tender and full of flavor, and those potatoes were so buttery, and that honey garlic sauce was so delicious, you guys definitely have to try this recipe. That is why I left the full recipe in the description box below so you guys can make this at home. When y'all do make this, leave a comment below letting me know how it turned out. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.